Entire state of California ordered to stay at home. That's 40 million
suburb
people.
Of building a 200-bed filled
shutdown
hospital
is in effect,
on a
and it's something
soccer
we are
field.
likely to see across the country now. California's governor
people
ordered
to stay at home.
California and one in Maricopa County, Arizona. The CDC confirming all.
Undecided for a while about if I was going to make a video about what's going on, but I think it's important to document this experience. In this video, I really want to talk about two things. The first is just about what's going on with how education and academia has changed, and also how my life has changed in the last 4 to 5 weeks. So the first thing is that a lot of universities and institutions around the world, including the United States, are now moved into an online platform, and we are adjusting to this new lifestyle of learning. By now, UCLA has less than 20% of its original population still living here, including myself, and dealing with a postponed graduation commencement and having to say our early goodbyes has been incredibly tough. But I also kind of wanted to use this time to document what's been going on around me and what I've been doing to try to stay as positive about the situation. So I want to start this around the time that spring break was to begin for UCLA. My friends and I, of course, made plans to travel to Hawaii again. I even bought a drone and was super excited to test fly it. But when the situation started to get worse, a lot of us had to make the decision to stay at home and to cancel our plans for another time. I remember the day that we all realized that spring quarter was going to become remote, and it was almost like an apocalyptic way of us all being together for one last time, uncertain if we were ever going to see each other again. I also made the difficult decision to not go back home and rather to stay here in Westwood, just as a way of preventing any possibility of getting my parents sick. Being a 22-year-old, I felt like it was possible that I could be asymptomatic, and I just wanted to remove any possibility of being in direct contact with them. They were still able to pay a visit after winter quarter ended. We got to catch up on a few things.
Air hug.
My mom and I exchanged some air hugs.
Air hug.
But after that, we had to say goodbye. Another thing that I was able to do over spring break was to help my friend Will pack his bike and ship it to Vancouver. As much as it is just shipping a bike, the process of deconstructing a bicycle, especially as someone who has no idea what they're doing, and also finding the right packing and shipping materials was quite the challenge. I spent a lot of time trying to FaceTime Will and have him walk me through the right processes of disassembling his really expensive bike. I also spent a lot of time calling different bike shops and packaging stores to see if they were open during the time and if they had the materials. You guys carry those things? This was a struggle for a while. Oh.
We start to new hours 10 to 4.
But I was able to find one store that was open on limited hours. And I ended up going to the store and grabbing all the materials to finish off the package. Along the way, I ran into my friend Fiona, who was also stuck here in Westwood, and we ended up making a plan to also go and work out once in a while. And in the evenings, it was nice to spend some time to sit down and FaceTime my friends just to check up on how they were doing. And for a while, that was kind of what my spring break was. It was helping pack Will's bike, chatting with friends, working out. Packing Will's bike, running, packing Will's bike some more, running some more, and chatting with friends. With the off time at home, I was also able to cook some more and try some recipes that I've never done before. And I even tried that whipped coffee trend that I've been seeing on TikTok. Apparently it's called Dalgona coffee, and my friends were roasting me for the fact that I didn't know that. I also even gave baking a try. I made some banana bread. Well, by making, I mean Fiona did a lot of the prep work and I was there filming, acting like I was helping out, but in actuality, I had no idea what was going on. So at the start of April, school finally began again, and a few things stayed the same. For one, my sleep schedule was still pretty bad. It was 4 a.m., 5 a.m. times, and it got to a point where I felt like because life was so unstructured, there really wasn't any motivation to change my lifestyle habits. Only sleeping when my body needed to sleep, only eating when my body wanted to eat. So school starts, and now a lot of us were getting our first taste in what online school was like. And it was really interesting to notice the pros and cons of online school. For one, it was really nice waking up at 8:59 a.m. to log on to your 9 a.m. discussion. I found it not too hard to adjust to the new learning style, but it definitely takes a lot more discipline to stay on top of your classes, especially being at home. At the end of my first week, I was able to have my graduation shoot with my old CEC director, Jude. When I was a sophomore, I joined this organization at school called CEC, which was Campus Events Commission. And in that time, I met Jude, who was the director for the media production team, which I was a part of. And he kind of became the person who pushed me to expand my creative abilities and to really take video and photos seriously. So it was a nice way of having him commemorate my experience here at UCLA by having him take my photos. And for the rest of the weeks when we were not at school, it was just a lot of random downtime here and there. I think because of the increased time a lot of us spent on our phones or in front of screens, we were trying our best to find activities that were a little bit away from technology and staring at Facebook and Instagram for hours. I think looking back at the situation, it was definitely a huge change for us. It was a time of uncertainty, and it was a time really to not take our health or our friends and our livelihood for granted. As unfortunate of a situation it is for me and all the other graduating seniors, we just have to accept that this is a time that we do just have to go through, and that the more positive we are about the lifestyle choices we make, the things that we can do to make the situation better, the faster we will all get through this situation together. Matt on lead guitar.